So,
This is
29
my
degrees,
1
but
month review of
nonetheless,
the
I
Bar
will get my
Brothers
workout in.
6 month program. I'm not going to continue with it because I feel it lacks adequate shoulder work. It doesn't have enough volume to stimulate growth, repair, or progression. The progressions are just flat out too hard to make, jumping from 5 chin-ups and pull-ups to 12 a set, more than doubling it, and then going from a total volume of 36 and then progressing from 15 reps on pull exercises to 36 to 69. The progression is just way too unrealistic, and I've done pull-ups and chin-ups for 2 years and I couldn't complete the second month properly. When I say properly, I mean I could not do quality reps the way I wanted to. I could complete it if I had a somewhat fast tempo, but I could not complete quality reps with dead hang, pausing at the top or the bottom of the movement and doing it as properly as I could. I could not complete the program with quality. The whole month, I missed all 8 of the workouts as far as quality goes. If you can't even complete the second month, then why would you add the second month into the first month and do the whole thing together if you couldn't even complete the second month to begin with? So I don't like the progressions or the lack of handstand work or shoulder work. It doesn't have to be handstands. However, I like to do handstand work, and the program completely lacks handstand work. It has really inadequate leg work, and it doesn't give you much direction as to how to progress in legs. Maybe farther down the road it might, but for 2 months, you can't not work your legs for 2 or 3 months. It's just ridiculous. And there's no calf work at all. And when you superset 5 exercises in a row without rest, you burn so much ATP, so much glucose and oxygen that you cannot effectively work the muscle properly because you're just too drained to fatigue that muscle group. For example, if you're trying to do 6 pull-ups and you're doing it after you've already done 3 or 4 exhausting sets in a row, you're not going to be able to have the energy. You'll have the strength in the muscle, but you won't have the energy, the oxygen, or the glucose to effectively work hard enough on those pull-ups to create any type of progression, any type of gains in terms of reps, sets, or weight. So that's my 2 thoughts. Just reading the program at the top, it says, I have decided to set up a simple 6-month program for calisthenics workouts, which an absolute beginner can use to start training and make the first steps towards passing the official Bar Brother exam. I have 2 problems with this. Below it says, but you're going to get stronger. And first, I call bullshit because the progressions are just way too unrealistic. And even I could not do this. I'm nowhere near a beginner, and even I couldn't pass the second month. The progressions were just way too unrealistic to be able to do all 5 exercises, upper body, in a row without rest. This is minimum rest, and I'm assuming that means without rest. However, like I said, the progression is just, I call bullshit. You're not going to get stronger doing this by only doing 3 sets. You do 1 set of push-ups, and then you do your other 4 exercises, and you do 3 cycles. It's just not enough volume per muscle group to stimulate growth. It's just basically chasing the big pump, and your whole body is you're just completely suffering, and you're suffering for no goddamn reason because you aren't going to make any gains at all. You're not going to make any strength gains or rep gains. You're not going to increase your reps. You won't be able to increase your reps or sets, and you won't be able to increase your strength on this program. Another thing is, I feel like they just assume that people can progress month to month with these not well thought out programs. I don't believe these programs were written out well because the progression month to month is just way too unrealistic, and I feel like they haven't even been there themselves. They haven't done these progressions. They just created this program after they already had the strength and muscular endurance and hypertrophy. They just kind of created these programs assuming people could just hop month to month when these are actually unrealistic progressions. One other thing is they assume One other thing is they assume that people want to pass the bar brother exam. It's I don't know, it feels a little arrogant that I don't know, to me it just feels a little arrogant that So I'm 23 today and I went to the gym. An easy workout in my opinion. Um, yeah, I ran to the gym and back, so my knee isn't feeling too great. The one time I try and run to the gym, my knees it starts hurting again. I don't know if it's a cold or if it's just not rested enough or if there's just something wrong with it, but I'm 23 today. I'll be having dinner in Seattle. Um, yeah, I'm hoping to burn off some calories so that I can eat more. I'd rather just do more and be more active to lose weight instead of eating less and doing less. So, with that said, I'm probably going to shoot for about 25 or 2600 calories and burn about 300 extra calories a day. I'm not the fittest I've been, but I'll get there. I'll get there with time. I'm not into the whole daily content because I feel whenever I have something to say or a new perspective to give, whenever I want to, say something or give my 2 thoughts, I will. And that's not always every day. Sometimes it's twice a day, sometimes it's 5 times a day, sometimes it's not once in 5 weeks. And so, out on a walk. I can't really run right now because my left knee is still bothering me. But yeah, just waking up. Had a late night last night, so just being active and enjoying the sun while it's here, because it's almost always rainy in Washington where I'm at. They have to meet a qualification to be one of you guys. Um, everybody should be striving to be their own person, their own individual, and not comparing themselves to others or trying to meet a standard. I just think it's a little, I don't know, it just doesn't give me the right vibe when you want people to meet these standards, like if I were to go up to someone and I said, hey, I'll give you this 6-month program for sprinting, then maybe you can be as fast as me. It's like what the hell? Like, everybody has their own standards that they work towards, their own goals, and they don't have to be. I feel like people shouldn't have to be meeting the certain requirements to be one of you. So that's just my opinion on the Bar Brothers program, and I just think I call bullshit because even I couldn't complete the second month with proper form and tempo the way I wanted to. I was able to complete the program on one occasion, however, it wasn't with the proper form and technique and tempos that I wanted to. I want to be able to go down, slow, pause, and up. On the pull ups and chin ups, I want to pull up, slow, hold, pause a second, and go slow down to a full dead hang. In terms of gains, in terms of strength or endurance gains, reps, there's been absolutely no progression because I can't progress. It's just way too hard. You just hit the wall and you cannot progress because the exercises take way too much stamina. So when you're already drained, you can't, if you can normally do 10 reps on pull-ups, let's say you can do let's say you can do 3 sets of 6 pull-ups, but you do all of the pull-ups in a row, you might only get 3 sets of, 6, 5, and 4, which is pretty much what I've been getting. I've been getting 6, 6, and 4, or 6, 6, and 3, or 6, 6, and 5 on my pull-up sets, and this Under normal circumstances, I can crank out maybe 5 or 10 sets of 5 to 7 pull-ups or, chin-ups or whatever. But when you run through all the exercises in a row, it takes so much oxygen and so much glucose, so much carbohydrates that you deplete that you can't do the same workload that you originally could do. What I mean by that is you cannot do as many push-ups or pull-ups or dips to stimulate the muscle growth as you would if you did them each muscle group at a time with breaks. You can't get that total fatigue, that damage to the muscle tissue, which causes that signal for the muscle to grow. Maintain or improve your cardiovascular fitness without tapping into glycogen, which is especially important because, number one, when you tap into glycogen, your body wants to further tap into fat and muscle. So walking is great for muscle preservation while you're trying to maintain your cardiovascular fitness, and it also keeps your glycogen stores up. It doesn't sap them like running or sprinting does, or cycling, so you can keep your energy and use it in the gym where you actually need it. Walking is also low impact, so it's good for my knee. I have a hard time running or cycling because my left knee hurts, so walking is great. It's a great way for me to burn off some extra food and get a little fat burned and get the blood flowing and keep up my cardiovascular fitness without losing some muscle mass or hurting my knee at all. Either my deficit isn't good enough or my exercise, the calories I'm burning is, I'm overestimating exercise, possibly underestimating the calories that I'm eating, or both. There's a little bit of margin of error. Like when you play a sport for 2 or 2.5 hours, you're like, okay, did I burn 500 calories, 1,000, 200 calories? It's like kind of that gray area where you're not really sure whether you need more calories to prevent like a huge deficit or less calories. So in recap, the program is just way too unrealistic, and it's just chasing the pump, and it lacks shoulder work, calf work, and majorly lacks leg work. And finally, I call bullshit on the program itself. I hope this has helped you guys, and I myself got bored with this program because it was the same thing over and over. It lacked variation, and for me to be motivated, for me to maintain my motivation, I have to switch things up here and there, and I have to be making progress. If I plateaued for no good reason, it's probably the program is just too unrealistic and the progressions are just too unrealistic. With that said, I hope this helps you guys, and I will see you in the next video. So I just finished the Bar Brothers routine for the second month, and I honestly think it's just too much pump and it's not enough to progress. I finished the routine finally like a week ago under normal pacing, but I tried to make my tempo better, increase that time under tension, and increase the quality of my reps, but I still can't complete the routine after a month of trying. So yeah, that would be 8 or 9 failed attempts at the workout, and I'm not really progressing at all. Right now, I don't really think much of the Bar Brothers routine in terms of progression. I don't think it really works for most people. Either that or I'm just not adapting well to the routine. Different people adapt and respond better or worse to different routines, and a huge giant superset which just sucks away all my breath and all my strength. 5 exercises, no rest, and you just run through all of them. Like, fatigue and stuff just creeps up on you. You just hit the wall. So I'm going back to designing my own routine because I don't have much faith in this. Yeah, I haven't gotten any progressions. That's what the routine has got me so far. Aesthetic wise, I've improved slightly, even though I had a bunch of shit last night. I still improved slightly aesthetically, but in terms of actual reps and sets, I'm not making any progress whatsoever. I'm making jack all, shit all progress. So I'm going to be changing my routine, and I'm going to be going back to making up my own routine, because I think that's what I do best. When I make my own routine, I stick with it better, and I can change it whenever I want, make adjustments depending on how I'm feeling that day, how I'm performing, and how I'm adapting, and I can change the variations, and it keeps me motivated. My motivation just been going straight downhill, because that fear, like, of not being able to complete the set is creeping up on me. Just not being able to complete it and failing over and over and over, and then I come into it and I hit that wall, and it kills my motivation when I want to progress, and I get up on the bar and I know I'm not going to hit the set. I know I could only get 3 or 4, maybe 5 reps. It's really disheartening. So that's why I'm going to be changing my program and scrapping the Bar Brothers. Yeah, so 1 month down, and I ate some shit this past week, and I relaxed because I got so hungry after the third week of January that I just needed a slight break. I'm going to be changing my dieting, back on my diet, and I'm going to be doing 1 or 2 days a week where I eat at or slightly above maintenance. That way my body doesn't freak out like it did the first 3 weeks. I'm back to 167. I was down to 163, and now I'm back up to 167 with a little water retention. So I'm gonna cut the salt out, cut the shit out, and dial back in, and maybe I'll progress better from there. So I went to the bank and I tried to get a fee reversed, but because, under the pretense of them saving me money with the fee, they all this technicality and bullshit, um, they won't reverse the fee, even though I have good standing and I meet all the requirements for reversing the fee. They save me money by charging me a $12 fee, therefore they will not reverse it. And they've tried everything, but they still can't reverse it, so it's fucking bullshit. Anyways, that was irritating, and fucking semi almost hit me on the roundabout, pulling out and almost rear-ending me, kind of diagonally, whatever. Fuck it. I'm just back from an interview. I think that went well, and I'll have a second one soon, with the other manager. But fuck it, everything's bullshit. I resisted the urge to eat shit because that's what I do. Um, it's just a habit of mine. When I'm pissed off or angry or just whatever, when my mood isn't right, I just take it out of my body by eating complete shit. And I know that that's ultimately not what I want to be doing. It's not good for me mentally, physically, or my psychological health to just take out any frustrations I have in life on my body. So I resisted the urge to go to the store and buy shit that I don't need and put crap in my body. So I haven't eaten breakfast yet. I have to make sure I get a good breakfast. And that's where I'm at today. So I think I'm doing a better job of activating my muscles more properly. Even though I didn't progress this month, in terms of reps or sets, my shoulders in the front, I think they're called the posterior delts, they've been developing more because I've been activating them more properly in the push-ups, and I can, even though it doesn't look like I'm strong, if you take my shirt off, I've got no chest, but I can still bench my body weight with these. As long as you're activating your muscles in the right way when you're doing the exercises, you'll build a good strength to weight ratio. However, for me, calisthenics hasn't been effective for building muscle so much as strength. All of the exercises that I've done have built endurance, a decent amount of endurance and strength, but they aren't doing a good job of building necessarily muscle and hypertrophy in those terms. But I'm starting to learn how to activate the muscles better in push-ups. I've been learning to activate the front delts a little bit more. The shoulder in the front here my shoulders have been developing a little right here and here. Even though I'm doing the same exact exercises as I always do, they've been developing just because of the way I've been positioning my elbows in the push-up and the way I've been going down an angle, at which I have my hands out up here, down here, there. So my shoulders are starting to develop, but my chest not so much. Another thing is when I am doing chin-ups, I realize that I can do the movement like this, and it might have something to do with having my chest out, but when I do the movement like that, it activates my kind of lats and my inner back more. But when I do the movement like this, you can't really tell the difference, but in one, I'm kind of pulling, my elbows are kind of gliding down, and I can do more that way, activating my bigger muscles in my back area. Whereas if I want to target my biceps more using almost the exact same movement, you probably can't even tell at all. But instead of coming down like that, I kind of come more like a curl. I kind of curl into the bar instead of pulling up over the bar. I kind of curl into the bar, and it makes a lot of a difference. This is just theory right now and practice, because it's happening with my shoulders where they're developing more properly because of the way I'm doing exercises. But I got in the bar and I was doing some chin-ups like this, and they were easy, and then I started doing chin-ups like this where the elbow kind of comes out more, and it really put so much more strain on my bicep. So maybe I've just been doing chin-ups wrong the whole time, or maybe I've been doing it right and everybody else does it with more arm movement, which is why they build more arms than I have. My 11 3/4 and 12-inch arms here are good reason, good evidence to show that just because you can do a lot of pull-ups and chin-ups and wide, neutral, narrow, standard, supinated, pronated, whatever, just because you can do a lot of reps or you can do a lot of weight with them doesn't mean that your arms are going to get big. It's all about that mind to muscle connection, activating the muscles properly, getting the full range of motion, and really activating the muscles instead of just half reps and bouncing and letting your muscle stretch and snap back up. It doesn't show you real strength. So that's all I wanted to say for today. So I by no means have a big chest or anything. If I stand upright, I've got hardly any chest, no development whatsoever, but I can still bench my own body weight, and it's because of push-ups and calisthenics. So they do develop a good strength to weight ratio, but as you can see, I've got shit development, especially the upper chest. Nothing impressive, even though I can bench my body weight no problem. I've got a shitty chest. So just because you can bench your body weight doesn't mean you're going to have good muscle development, and likewise, just because you have good muscle development doesn't mean you have a good amount of strength. So this is one example. Just learn from me just take it from me that you have to dial in on what you want to do and focus on what you want to do, because one way of training will give you more strength without the mass, and another way of training will give you some more mass without as much strength, and another way of training might give you some endurance without giving you any mass or strength, and another might just actually strip any mass or strength from you. stuff like cycling and running long distance that's gonna suck away any type of strength and mass you might have. So keep that in mind that I'm nowhere near big or anything, even though I've been doing calisthenics for a while, and even though I'm relatively strong for my height and weight, I'm still nowhere near as aesthetic or as muscular as people that are weaker than me. So with that said, don't expect a miracle with calisthenics. Expect to be strong for your body weight and expect very slow results. I still have my skinny cyclist arms, 12-inch arms. They have definition, but they don't have size. That's how my body is. I have definition, but no size. So I wouldn't say I have a lot of definition, but that's the moral for today, is remember that progress takes time and calisthenics isn't the best way to gain mass.